Good morning and welcome back to the Missouri Evergreen Cataloging Advanced course. I am Greg Whitmore, the Consortium Cataloger. And in this video I'm going to show you how to overlay an OK record with a better record. As catalogers, we can go through and we can look at MARC records all the time and say, okay, that one's all right, but we could add some more information to make it better. And typically there are records out there in the web someplace that we can import in to make our records even better than they are. So let's go ahead and start. I've got an ISBN here of a book that I want to look at. And we've got one book that actually comes up. We're going to look at the MARC record for that book. And we can see that it's got some good information, but it's kind of a small record, and I think we can find a better one. So what I'm going to do is actually mark this for an overlay. To do that, I come over here to the Mark For button, and I'm going to hit Overlay Target. Notice that down here it says that this record is now ready for an overlay. Then I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to go into Cataloging. I'm going to look at the Import Record from Z39.50 protocol option that we have. So in this option, we can look at any one of these fields for finding records, the same way we looked at when we were importing a record. The same libraries are highlighted over here where we're going to look for these particular records. But the difference here is the fact that down here at the very bottom on the right, you can see that I've got this TCN flagged for an overlay, which is the same TCN that's up here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste the ISBN in there, and I'm going to hit search, and we're going to see what comes up. Again, the more libraries that you choose to search in, the longer this search may take. And usually at this point I would open up another tab and start working on something else while I'm waiting for this to import. But for the sake of this video, I'll just go ahead and wait. Hopefully the search won't take too long. And as you can see, it didn't. So it looks like we've got 4 new records that we could potentially put into the system. I'm going to go ahead and pull each one up and look at their MARC record. That one's pretty similar to what we have in there right now, so I don't really want that one. This one's a little bit better. It's got a little bit more information, but I'm not sure that this has what I would consider good information. This 955 tag and this 906 tag I think would be unnecessary for our purposes, as well as this 920 and 921 or 991 tag. These are this record is from the Library of Congress, and they're keeping some local information in on their records, and that's really not going to do us much good. So looking at the third one, that's pretty much the same as the first one, I'm thinking. Let's look at this last one and see what we can find. So here we can see a lot of much better information. It's very lean, and it's got a lot of good things that we're looking at. I like this record a lot, so I think I'm going to use this one to overlay. Once I've found a record that I want, I can click this overlay button, and that's going to bring up the system, and it's going to show me both MARC records side by side. When I'm going through here, I know that this record's going to go away and this one's going to come in and overlay it. But I also want to look through this information and see if there's anything out of this record that I want to bring over onto this side. And I typically do that by, if I find something that I want to keep, I'll open up a notepad and copy the programming into it. But looking at this, I don't see anything necessarily that's not going to carry over. So once I've decided that I really do like this record, I'm going to hit overlay. At that point, the system's going to go in and update. And we're going to see that the older record is now gone and the newer one is in here. We can do that by looking at the MARC record. And we can see all that good information that we saw earlier. We do have to make some changes to this particular record though. Following the guidelines of Missouri Evergreen. And to do that, we're going to go into MARC editing. So I know that I'm going to be modifying this record. The very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add my library code into the 040 tag. The other thing that's standard is that when you overlay a record, you're going to include a 902 tag at the very bottom of the record. That 902 tag is going to have the library code, your library code, the date that the change was made and what was done. In this case, I've got MEC, today's date, and the fact that it was overlaid. Let's go back up into the record and do some other editing really quick. Per the best practices of Missouri Evergreen, we do not want a 050 tag. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Looking around the rest of the tag, I see that we've got a good 100 tag, we've got a good title, we've got good publishing information, we've got the RDA tags, as I like to call them, in here. We can see that this is part of some sort of a collection or a series of books on sewing. We've got an index note, and we've also got what I would consider to be a good summary. Given all that, I really like how this new record looks, so I'm going to hit Save Changes. And if we go into the MARC view, we can see everything is laid out very, very nicely. From here, I would actually go in and add holdings and make sure that this is being done the way that we need it to be done. So that's a real easy way to overlay the records with one record that's maybe not so good and another one that's even better. Very, very simple and very, very quick to get done. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.